Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy, published in 1878. Oh, and there will be spoilers here. I could try to keep things as vague as I have in my other reviews, but I'm finding it hard to get what I want to say across. Think of this as a post-read conversation. I share my thoughts and you guys feel free to do the same below. This book, it's basically a cross between Pride and Prejudice, The Great Gatsby, and Breakfast at Tiffany's. And no, I'm not talking about any of their movie counterparts. If you've read any of these works, you'll know what I'm talking about. Maybe. Anyway, this book, it follows several characters in pre-revolution Russia prior to the rise of the Soviet Union. But our title character, Anna, she is unhappily married and winds up seeking love elsewhere. This story is the tragic tale of where those decisions lead her. And by that, I mean her inevitable death. I saw that one coming a mile away. Heck, I thought Anna was going to die almost as soon as I started reading this. The book is described as a tragedy, and she's a title character. This is an incredibly popular book. In fact, in a 2007 poll by Time magazine, what they found was that their audience considered Anna Karenina to be the greatest book ever written, which is surprising to me given that, well, we'll get to that later. What did I like about this novel? To start with, it's incredibly believable. The characters, they have problems that I could relate to, and even when I couldn't relate to them directly, they're things I've seen in friends and family. Tolstoy manages to capture a wide range of human emotions and experiences in a single work. It's astonishing how much he packs in here. The struggles of marriage, of raising children, of life, death, religion, finding purpose. These characters, like people in the real world, are complex. They're layered, multifaceted. They often feel conflicting emotions about things. They don't always behave in a rational manner. Anger, jealousy, fear, these all play into their final decisions, often resulting in a surprising outcome. I especially like the interactions between Levin and his dying brother Nikolai, even those moments of repulsion that he feels towards his brother, the internal and external struggles that Nikolai goes through as he sees but doesn't fully accept the end of his life, the self-reflection that stirs in Levin as all this unfolds before him. Then there are the parallels and contrasts between Anna and Levin and their pursuits of love and relationships. Anna, she is introduced as this seemingly happy, well-respected married woman from St. Petersburg, while Levin is an outsider and a landowner who's concerned that he's going to die alone. As the story progresses, their fortunes shift, with Anna leaving her husband for a military officer named Vronsky and eventually committing suicide. But Levin, in the meantime, he gets married, starts a family, and finds faith and meaning in his life. It's also interesting to note that there seems to be some attraction between Levin and Anna, though as far as I know, they only ever meet once. Like the former relationship between Vronsky and Kitty, things could have easily been flipped here. Not sure it means anything though, but whatever. And it's rather poetic that we're introduced to Anna at a train station where someone steps out in front of the tracks and dies, and her story ends with her doing the same thing. Then there's the historic significance of this novel. Once again, I was blown away by how believable everything felt. The portrayal of the wealthy patriarchal system. Oddly enough, it felt kinda like college. Lots of philosophic and political talk with friends, and not much work. But it didn't feel preachy. All the talk about labor or agriculture or the inefficiencies of this political system. It all fits this aristocratic society, and you can see the cracks and dissent people must have been feeling at that time, which laid the groundwork for revolution down the road. Unfortunately, all the talk among the educated elite is also a negative because there's just way too much of it. Way too much of it. I had to take a lot of breaks while reading this because my brain, it just couldn't handle all of that intellectual conversation at once. Sure, it's interesting to see that many of the issues people were discussing in the 19th century still apply today in the 21st, but not that interesting. This book, it took me 3 months to read because I had trouble forcing myself to keep going. 3 months. This problem, it wasn't helped by the fact that I didn't especially like any of the characters. They all have similar flaws to people I know, people around me, but none of their good qualities, at least very few of them, and none of their humor. Humor, it can go a long ways in helping us gloss over a lot of those flaws. Now that I think about it, the most likable character, at least for me, was probably Lexi, Anna's husband, and he's basically painted as a villain here. Is he boring? Yes, but he's simple to understand, and he doesn't really do anything wrong. He's just not that romantically inclined. Levin, Kitty, Oblonsky, Vronsky, Daria, I sometimes found myself rooting for them, and I sometimes didn't. What I didn't find was anything entertaining about them. They're all very boring people. Worse yet, I didn't like Anna, period. With most of the characters, I felt like I understood why they would do what they did. Anna, though, she was different. She's hostile, especially during her final days. She doesn't listen to people. She's manipulative. I don't feel like this is one of those tragedies where misfortune keeps on falling on our lead character and there's nothing she can do about it. Anna, she brings ruin upon herself. She refuses Alexi's original offer for a divorce. She's constantly antagonizing Vronsky. When Anna finally ends her life, I didn't feel any remorse or pity for her. I was just glad that the story wasn't going to focus on her internal ramblings anymore. All she cared about was herself. She abandoned her son, and she completely ignored her daughter. With that being said, I found the ending anticlimactic. It focuses mostly on Levin, who couldn't care less about Anna's death. He hardly knew her, and all of this, it undermines any significance in her character, which is strange, especially given the fact that the book is titled after her. In conclusion, Anna Karenina, though it's brilliant in its mostly realistic portrayals of characters and their relationships, it just wasn't for me. It's slow and joyless, plus it focuses too heavily on the negative aspects of humanity and not enough on the positives. I'll give it 3 stars out of 5, since there is a lot of depth and brilliance here, and I did manage to finish it, but that's not an endorsement. I don't review things I don't finish, and I feel like finishing a book warrants at least 3 stars. Anyway, that's all I've got. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Peace.